Most people set goals, but very few people achieve them. And that's because for the large majority of people, they stop at setting the goal. Every month on the 1st, I sit down and set my goals out. And there's many ways you can go about doing this. And most of the ways that I've seen online leave a few critical things out. Things that I've picked up from watching multiple videos or listening to multiple podcasts and reading a couple of books on this matter. So today I'm going to show you exactly how I go about doing it. It starts with a clean Notion database. One entry for every year. This year's 2026, so the other one we have is 2026. Open the year and you've got every month sitting inside it. Now, I only recently moved back to Notion because prior to that I was using Apple Notes. However, there were a few things that Apple Notes couldn't do, and I just needed something that could do a bit more with the UI, so how it all looks and how it all operates, just to make everything flow better. But the biggest thing was subpages, being able to have things buried inside other things. Anyway, I digress. As you can see, I've got May and June here. If you open up a already existing month, you'll see these three sort of titles. You've got monthly goals, projects, and then daily activities. I'll start a new one to show you exactly how it looks. This is what pre-populates. You've got the overall intention of the month. This is just a little blurb to keep your mind on track. Whenever you come to view this, you look at it, you read it, you're like, okay, that's what we're aiming at. And then from there, you've got monthly goals, projects, daily activities, things done outside of scope this month. So, goals are the most important thing in this entire system. As is with all of life, you need to have a set goal of where you're going. Goals are the overall aim, the North Star. These goals are things that should be achievable within the time span of a month. And then the goals that go in here are pointing back to this big picture and the main overall direction for the whole year. And while you can write out the goal on its own doesn't do anything. For example, saying that I want to ship 4 YouTube videos this month, that does nothing without a layer deeper. So then we go down to projects. And when you reach projects, these are sort of the pieces that have to come together for the goal to happen. So for example, I've got if I want to post YouTube videos, I have to choose a post day. So that's Sundays at 9 a.m. I have to focus on video prep, filming and editing. Take all of about 60 minutes. It's the setup that really counts. And that's what I've been doing. And you can follow this down. It goes on and it goes on. The problem is that projects is the layer most people skip. They write the goal and then wait to feel motivated. The project is the bridge between the two. And that's important because then you get down to daily activities. These are the things that get done every day, no matter what. Small, repeatable, and typically boring. This is where the goal actually gets paid for. These small actions are what lead to these bigger outcomes. And here's how the three connect. I'll show you as an example. So let's say this is July. And we've got the agenda, become super fit. Obviously, go a bit more in depth with that one. But let's say we want to train 5 days a week. So train 5 times a week, all of July. And then we've got the goal. And to make that happen, well, for me personally, I can only train in the mornings because of my schedule. I have work from 7:30 a.m. until 2 p.m. and then I spend the rest of the afternoon working on content, building the company, hanging out with my family and girlfriend, depending on what the day looks like. Some evenings I'll spend the whole day just working on code. The point is, I can only train in the mornings. So for this to be effective, I have to actually wake up at at 5:30 a.m. to actually be able to get to the gym. So that's the project. I've got to wake up at 5:30, and that has a whole bunch of steps, like making sure I'm going to bed on time, that I put my computer down or I close my laptop at a set time each night so that I'm not stuck building more things late into the evening. Like this week I've had a real trouble with that because I haven't been training in the morning, so I've been able to be like, I can stay up later because I actually don't need to wake up in the morning, and that's causing a whole set of other problems. So moving down to the daily level, I have to eat a set amount of foods or sleep the right amount to actually be able to grow. Same outcome, 3 different layers. The goal points the way, the project builds the path, and the daily action walks it. That's the whole system. And the most important thing that people miss 90% of the time is the idea of nesting goals. You've got to start and understand that goals for 1 month compound over a year, and yearly goals compound into results over a lifetime. And until you understand that you have to start with the big goal in mind and then work backwards from there to the smallest tasks that you can do today, tomorrow, and the day after that consistently, that is how you truly build towards the goals and dreams that you have. The biggest changes I've seen in my life is when I start doing this, when I start becoming intentional with the actions I'm performing each day, because they're moving me towards the goals that I have in mind. That is when I see the most growth, and that is when I see the most forward projection towards the things I want, and life feels the most fulfilling. Anyway, that is all for today. Go write out some goals.